Hello, this is National Chess Master R. Rats. I'm giving a simultaneous at chess.com at 9030. The purpose of these is to give you a long standard time control game against me. I may not play my best because I'm playing a bunch of you, but I'll play well enough that it'll test your wits and give you some practice for the real competitive games that you want to be playing to improve your game. Anyway, I think I have 6 games going, and I'm using my little system here, the King's Indian Attack. I'll try to cover the opening of every game and then get back and play. Uh, Basically, here, the first moves, I play these all the time against anything. But here, because of the presence of the queen on c7, I can do something a little different on this d4 push. There's a pin on the c file I can go ahead and take. I don't necessarily fear knight b4. I'll just drop the queen back to b1, and he takes with this c pawn, and usually the c3 pawn is kind of like the anchor of the white position to keep that knight out of d4 and b4. Well, now b4's or d4's a goner. There's a pawn there, and the pin on the knight stops the knight from going to b4. So um, what I can do is I can take over the c file now with rook a c1. But what I'm going to do is, I had a game recently where I got an advantage with this and I kind of messed it up and got into the disadvantage because he got b5 in. I think I had b4. I needed to play b4 and b5, and I didn't. So I'm trying to sort that game out. And I made some queen move and he got b5 and I couldn't get b5 in. So I could play a4 here and stop b5, and that anchors c4 for my knight. But I could also play b4 here because he can't take, and I've got a threat to pin. And if he plays a6, then I can play a4. And then on b5, he can play b5. And then I go pin that knight. Let's see, pin it. He protects it. Maybe I can get some play on that knight. So I'm trying to sort something out here. White's slightly ahead in development because I've got one more minor piece out and it's my move. Where did I get the development lead? Well, I got it by not moving my pawns as much as he has. Okay, this pawn is up on d4 instead of maybe be back on d6. It was back on d6. There'd be one fewer pawn move on his part, and this bishop could be coming into g4 and giving a completely symmetrical game. So b4 threatens b5. He plays a6. I play a4. If he plays b5, oh, he can't play b5. I take because there's a pin. Okay, so I can play b4 here. Now, before I do it, I just want to make sure there's no little trick. Let's see. He could play queen. He could break the pin with queen b6 and attack the pawn, but then he's blocking himself from playing b5. So I'm going to go ahead and play b4 here and let the chips fall where they may. And here I'm playing Carly, Cheeky Chicky. She gave me a nice whooping the other day. Had a very interesting game. It was like her attack against my king got going a lot quicker than mine did against hers. And I was kind of trying to take preventative measures against it, and I thought I had set up a decent defense as well as trying to maintain my offense, and there was a combination in the end, and she found it, and I give her full credit for finding it. It was a nice little combination that forced mate, and I allowed her to give the checkmate. I never played my pawn to e4 in that line because I wanted to keep the long diagonal open. I'm going to do something similar here. We're real close to the last position. I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm going to play knight d2. I could take on. Well, let's see if she could push by with c5, but that's fine. We'll just see how it goes. Every game's different. Okay, now I didn't go over the opening moves of that. let's just cover this one real quick. Let's see. So far I'm just following the system here, and I'm still well within the book. Now it's my move. Now here I'll back it up and I'll illustrate it. Okay, so the first moves are standard, and your white's willing to part with the dark squared bishop as you wait for black to spend a tempo with h6. So that's what I do. And here comes the attack against my king. I don't fear these. I say, bring them, you know. Let's see. Okay, stops my bishop g5 idea, this setup, but I've played it where I keep the bishop, so I'm just going to continue my development and go from there. Now bring the queen up, and I'm following the book. Okay, now there's a pin. Okay, shouldn't be much of a problem. I can go attack that bishop with knight h4. Let's see how this one came about. Let's back it up. Okay, so we're playing symmetrically. And oh, I say we had a mass exchange here in the center with the pawns. That's how this happened. Okay, so now I think I can just attack that bishop, and I don't care if he returns the bishop pair and makes it opposite colored bishops because there's still knights on the board. That's a nuisance pin. I don't really want to play rook e1 and have to deal with it, or play a passive move like knight fd2 to defend this pin. I just need to end this pin. Pins are annoying. They're the most common motif in a chess game. Okay, so this one, he's given me a pawn. He's attacked castled long so he can attack the king. Let's kind of cover through the moves here. See here, I elected to take this knight. This takes some of the sting out of his coming pawn advance. Okay, so now I go and attack a pawn and threaten to take that bishop on c5, and now I take it, and he comes here, and I go there, and he brings his bishop out, and I take his bishop, and I'm a pawn up. He's got two open files. I have none. The moment he plays h4, or h5, I can play h4. So what I need to do here is continue my development, take d4 away from his knight. There we have it. Okay, now let's see. Here comes the attack. I'm going to go ahead and take this pawn this time, see what happens. Okay, there goes bishop takes. Alright, ooh, this is interesting. There's a pin. Okay, knight, here I thought I was preventing something. Let's see. Where's my knight want to go? E1? Yuck. Okay. See, if I go to h4, e takes d3, and, you know, there's the pin in action, so oh wait, knight e1, he plays pawn takes, knight takes, and bishop takes. Okay, so I'm going to give back a pawn here. No big deal. It's just a pawn. Wow. Strong move, and I totally missed it. Okay, well, it happens. Let's see, knight d2, pawn takes. I gotta play something like f3. Ugh, he takes on d2, e2. Ooh, I messed this game up. Well, you know, it happens. Let's see. I'm a pawn ahead. You know, I can always sack a piece and get a third pawn for it. No, I'm two pawns ahead, right? Wait, no. No, I'm not two pawns. It's the double pawn on c5. Okay, knight h4. Knight g5 is out. Knight e5 is out. And give up the queen. That's no good. Knight e1, pawn takes. Knight d2, pawn takes. He's going to get a pawn on the 7th rank. Not much I can do about it. Okay, fine. Okay. I think I'm losing more than that now that I'm thinking about it. Oh well, it happens. Okay, now we've got an open position. The center is gone, so let's think about knights for a moment. This knight can go to c5, hit the bishop. It can go to f6. Where's it? From c5, where's it go next? It just sits there. I could sack a piece on g6. I don't think that's sound, though. I don't have enough attack. I think the common sense thing to do is develop a rook and await developments. Because, I'm not going to win this by an attack. I just have to develop pieces and see what happens. Okay, we're still in the book here. Bingo. Okay, now, oh, he played there. He should have taken the pawn. Okay, so that helps me. It's probably losing that game. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to put the knight? Or do I want to take the pawn and allow a check? Allow the check. Pawn takes, queen takes. I can put the rook on f2. It's pinned. I can drive the queen out with either knight f1 or knight c4. And this way I batten down the hatches on e2. Okay, so she took. Now I'm going to clear the... In the other game, I end up bringing this bishop to e3, where it provided some offense and defense. But here I'm going to play to undermine the protection of g5. I'm going to play bishop a3. This also clears my back rank, just trying something different. Okay, so is this a position I can take with the pawn? Yes, I think it is. Pawn takes, knight b5, knight b4. So I want to get this pawn structure I have in the other game. Pawn takes, if knight b4, don't want to... Well, I can play queen b3 because bishop e6 is met this way, so I can take this. Yeah, I'm going to take it. Okay, so I take it. Now rook c8. Okay, I'm still in the book here. Amazing. You can get the first 10 moves played just like that. Okay, here comes the open rook file. Okay, now the trick is to take back with the f-pawn so that the h-pawn isn't missing, so if the bishops are later traded, I don't get mated on h1. And I can cover f2. Now this exposes... Well, he's not playing this the way they normally do. If I take with the f-pawn, he gets a diagonal with check, and I'm going to experiment. I'm going to take with this pawn this time, because this queen is a long way from getting to where it wants to go. Okay, now that's probably not the best move. This creates a weakness. G5 is a weaker square now. I can get 3 pawns for the piece pretty easily. I can take on g6, and I don't think he can hold the pawn on h5, but I don't really have a whole lot for it. 3 pawns for the piece, and the board is open. So if I played a double rooks, he'll play like rook d2, he'll play knight f6, bishop g2, and he'll oppose rooks, rook a8. I played rook fd1, and he swaps rooks and puts a rook on d8. So doubling rooks doesn't do a whole lot here, as appetizing as it sounds. So what's better, actually, is not to double rooks, but take another file and just wait developments. Okay, so now I've got the pawn structure that I want, and let's see, knight c4. Now if he plays b5, where's my knight go? Oh, it doesn't. I got to play a4 first. Okay, so a4 it is. Okay, now he played rook ab8. That doesn't really do him a lot. Where's this rook going? Is he trying for b5 and b4? it's like I've completed my development more or less, so now the question is where do I want to go next? I can make a threat on a pawn with queen b3, but that allows knight c5. See, the idea is the pawn on f7 would be pinned. Let's see. Since I'm not going to sacrifice on g6, the only question is, do I want to play the knight back into f3? That would block the bishop if knight f6. But then again, the bishop can get in play. It's good time to get this knight back into the game. Okay, there we have it. Okay, look at that pawn center. Wow. Okay. So we play to break open the diagonal of the light squared bishop. Okay, there's queen c7, or c7 to d6. Okay, so if I attack the knight, I get the b5 move in that I wanted. And knight b4, queen b1 to secure d3. And then I can kick the knight out. Okay, so there it is. Okay, knight e8. Let's see. Knight c4. b5. He's trying to trap my bishop. Okay, it's a good time to play a4 here. Okay, now bishop e6. Okay, so now I go ahead with knight c4. Okay. Okay, now he's spent the tempo and moved his rook from b8 to d8. Since I said h5 weak in g5, I'm going to go ahead and occupy that square with my knight. And we'll see what happens. Okay, there's the check. Okay, I block it. I'm getting ready to evict his queen with knight f1 or knight c4, one or the other. Okay, I think I've got everybody thinking, which is how I like it. Okay, so let's do a quick summary. I've definitely behind on the clock here. Here he's moving a little too quick. He's playing off his increment. Okay, this guy's taking his time. Rook c8, going on the same file as my queen. So let's go gain a tempo, get the queen off the file, play queen d2 and attack the pawn on g7 and get ready for b4, b5. That might allow him to play bishop takes c4. Do I mind that? I'm not sure where the queen came. I'm pretty sure it's c2, but I'm going to pick him up and drop it over here so I don't make a mouse slip. So one way to make mouse slips is, say I pick up the queen and I'm thinking moving along here. I said, well, where did she come from? And I think she went on d2, and I plop it on d2 and it just moved there. So if you're not sure where the queen went, put it on some square it can't move to, let go, and it'll take it back where it wants, where it belongs. Okay, so here I'm going to reinforce the knight with b3 first. Although I do want to play, well, let's see. If we can the dark squares, he should be trying to maneuver his bishop over to that diagonal, e7, and then get into b4 since I've given him that square. Queen d2, bishop takes c4, dc4. He's got to cover his pawn on h7, or I don't think quite sack it. I'm thinking knight d2 is a good move here. Knight fd2. Just ignore the tempo on the pawn because the queen doesn't really belong on d2. Although I'm not sure how I'm going to get b4 in. he's going to get used to that square, but I could always... Knight d2 makes sense simply because it backs up the knight, and maybe I can get f4 in. Maybe this is a position I can get f4 in. I think familiarity says I can. Okay, he put his knight on c7, so now I can play knight c4 and go from there. Okay, knight h6. Okay, he's a ways off from getting his kingside attack going, so I'm going to strike in the center. e4. Okay, knight e5. Where's the knight going? f3's covered. d3 is under control. c4 doesn't bother me, because then the knight go to d6 and f5. Let's clear the... Well, one thing I could do is anchor my knight in with h4, but then that gives him g4 counterpart. Now I'm going to clear, just bring the bishop back and clear the center. Bishop should be fine. Bishop g2. Okay. Time speaking. Now he's played, well, got 20 moves in this game. Sometimes I'm just amazed how many moves get played. I had one the other day. One of the games I ended up declining a draw and promptly playing a losing move. We'd played 42 moves. I couldn't believe it. And I don't recall how much time we spent or didn't spend, but 42 moves, you should be down to 10, 20 minutes and just working off your increment. Neither of us were close. Okay, so he took, and I'll take, and he'll probably oppose rooks on the d file. Yep, see, what did I say? Now, to take is a mistake, they say. In other words, whoever trades rooks the other one gets control of the open file. I could play something like rook e1 and ignore rooks. Then he can fight for the 7th rank. Do I want that? Not really. Let's see. I can always... The knight at e5 is covering f7. I'm thinking of stuff like queen b3. The idea being keep pressure on f7, because theoretically, I don't have rook takes d8, queen takes d8, queen b3, which attacks b7, but it doesn't attack f7. And if I throw f4 in to drive the knight away, I just expose my king to maybe his queen b6 check and similar motifs. So, not really getting anywhere here in this game. Let's see. I have 71 minutes. He has 86. So again, he's playing way too quick. My time, I have to play quick. See, if I have 6 games going, you divide 90-30, each one of those by 6. That gives me basically a 15-minute game with a 5-second increment. It actually works out a little more than that, because many times I've played moves and I'm waiting for all my opponents to move. But still, I have to play a quick game because it's a simul. But, this is the time where these guys are supposed to be taking their time. So, let's see. Let me look backward. What was the path of this knight? Did it go to h4, then back to f3? Yeah. Okay. So sometimes just remembering where pieces came from can help. The knight hasn't been to e4 yet. From e4, keeps an eye on d6. Invites him to play f5, weakening himself slightly. Since I just need a waiting move, that's what I'm going to play. The knight hasn't visited e4 yet. He went h4, f3, g5. Okay, so I'm going to put him there. Okay, so she's locked up the center, but look at that diagonal. Okay, for what it's worth, I have a nice diagonal. So we're going to try to attack. Rook A, B1. Okay. Now knight A5. Okay. Not sure if that helps the knight any. Where's it go next? So let's see. It's time to take over this C file. Okay, I heard a capture on one game. No, not sure what was captured. I'll find out when I switch over. Okay, knight F6. Okay. So objectively, what I want to do is open up some lines. He hasn't castled yet. He may still castle kingside. Pawn takes, you can take with the pawn. That shields this. You could take with the knight. And that gives me the knight e4 square. Definitely need some open lines here. Let's try this. Okay, there's the check. Remember what I said earlier, to take is a mistake. I got the, oh look, there's a fork. Whoops. Okay, knight c5 or c4 attacks the queen and then takes the rook. Okay, so play that. Now he wants a queen trade. Well, you know, I think I'm making some progress here. You'll see here. Queen takes. That's very symmetrical. See, but it'll be me on the move, and I can play knight d6 attacking a pawn. And if he plays knight c5, I think I'm going to end up winning a pawn here. Let's see. Knight takes knight d6. Okay, now I grab this. Okay, now I have... No, I'm not going to take a draw. I have knight d6. Attacking your pawn. And if you play knight c5, I play b4. Okay, so now let's get out of the danger on that pin on the e-pawn and push this. Queen up, one square. Okay, so he's moving too quick. Okay, h6. He's now, where do I want the bishop? I'm going to put him on d2 rather than e3. Keep b3 open for a knight. Okay, play there. Some of this is just instincting and experience. You kind of know where the pieces want to go. Okay, bishop g7. So, I was talking about getting f4 in. Let's do it. f4, pawn takes, I take with the pawn. That does weaken my king side a little bit. His bishop belonged on e7. He should have been trying to work on the b4 square. So let's work on b4. Let's forget the king side break. This can come in the ending if it has to. Let's play on the queen side. a5. The purpose of a5 is if he plays a6, I get the b6 square. Although maybe not right away. I may not want to, but I'm trying to get the maneuver pawn b4 in at some point. And but actually, no, I don't want to do that. Let's see. Queen b3 steps into a new pin, but attacks the pawn on b7. Also blocks my b pawn, but it could be a bluff to try to get queen a3 in. And from queen a3, see if my queen is on a3, I could play b5. So maybe, let's see, queen here. He can't play knight b4 to block. He might play b6. Then I play queen a3, and I'm ready for b4. Okay, so let's try this. What if he plays knight a5? Yeah, see, knight a5. See, remember I said I'm stepping into a pin. Queen a3, knight takes, knight takes. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. See, does no good. So, so much for that idea. That's how you analyze a game. You have to just look forward and calculate the possibilities. So queen b3 allows knight a5. And that's one thing that a5 does, is it takes knight a5 away. Okay, so I can still get b4 in. Okay, so a5's the move. I had it right away. Wait, no, I can't play a5. Knight takes. There's a pin. Knight takes, rook takes, queen takes, and then this thing falls. So let's do subtle maneuvering. Let's play b3 here. Well, I don't know about b3. Makes sense. The idea is to play queen b2 and queen a3, or queen b2 and b4. But then again, you know, he's taken this bishop off the critical f8, a3 diagonal. Let's just play queen b1 already. Now knight b4. Here, tick tick. Somebody's offered me a draw. Okay, let's see. Well, this game's even. All games are objectively even. Let's see. What do I want to do here? a5, knight takes, rook takes, queen takes, knight takes, rook takes, d2. How about if we just wait a move? Let's put the rook on the c file. Get ready for queen b3. Okay. Oh, there's a phone call. Who's calling me? Just a second. Hello? Hi, how you doing? Correct. Sure. Give me a time that's convenient to you. I have various things I'm doing all day on Saturday, and then Sunday I have some lessons scheduled. But any time that works for you should work for me. That I can work my schedule around it. You know, my time zone. Well, what you want to go Saturday or Sunday? Saturday is a little more open for me. Okay, what about say 9 a.m. Saturday Pacific time? What time is that for you? So that'd be noon time for you. Great. Now I can get some standard time control games out of your history at chess.com. Is that correct? Do you have any games that you've played in the last few months that you could submit to me? Okay, great. You know how to, if you can construct those in PGN format, that's relatively easy. You just go to live chess and enter the game or make a diagram. Uh, you know, like a post to yourself, a message to yourself, or a forum, anything. You enter the moves and then you can get the PGN. If you can do that, then I'll have and send those on to me. I'll have information and I can really start helping your game. All right? Yeah, that's fine. Or do you have my email too? Because either one would work, a message or my email. If you send me a message requesting my email, I can send it back to you. Um, and then you can always message me at chess.com and if you have any other concerns. Okay? All right? Thanks so much. Well, take care. Bye now. Hi there. Sorry about that. That was a phone call. Somebody wants a lesson. Okay. I'm giving lots of lessons. I'm the top selling coach on chess.com. I don't care what anyone else says. It's me. Okay. Here comes the attack. H4. Well, let it come. let's see. I've got some nice pressure on b7 and b8. I've got a nice open diagonal for my bishop. How about if I double rooks? Just play a waiting move here. Okay. Okay, bishop e6. Now, this one's taking its time. That's good. Let's see. Queen. Where want my queen? Queen a4 attacks his knight. Where's his knight go? He protects it with b6, and then I've weakened the c6 square. Got my queen off the dangerous file. And I'm free to maybe double rooks next. Okay. Let's stick with queen a4 here. Okay, queen a4. Okay, here's d5 attacking my knight. Knight e3. Yeah, I don't really want to take and develop his knight. Don't make moves that activate your opponent's pieces. Let him make moves that activate yours. Why should I bring this knight into d4 or d5, you know, by taking? Let him, if he wants his knight there, let him find a way to get it there on his own. And he wouldn't be able to get it there on his own if I play knight a3, because if he trades pawns clearing d5, I take back with a pawn and I'm controlling d5. So that's my move there. Okay, so here, what did I do? I opened up the center. As I said, he needs some open lines. What's happening? I think I won a game. Okay, this knight doesn't really have a future. Let's open up the diagonal for my bishop and get him to b3. One less defender for my king, but his development's not complete. Okay, I think... What happened here? h5. Okay, so I'm up the exchange here. I don't want to give d4 by playing something like c4. Let's let the attack come and play double rooks. Okay. All right, now b4, knight a4, knight takes, knight takes. He's got split pawns. b4, knight a4, knight takes, knight takes. Now he's on this guy. Let's see. b4, knight a4. Oh wait, I'm going to hang c3 here with the bishop too. Let's see. b4. Doesn't have to play knight a4. He could play knight e6. And then on knight takes, he could take with the bishop. And when I take, he takes that. That looks pretty drawish. Okay, let's see. He's offered another draw. Maybe it is a draw, you know. It's no big deal if it's a draw, but we're trying to make instructional videos that you can learn something from at the same time. I mean, I don't just want to take a draw and somebody sending me a chat request. What is this? Okay. Okay, why does this guy always send me chat requests when I'm playing? Okay, back to this. Okay, let's see. I was thinking I was getting somewhere. I went into this b4, knight a4, knight takes, but he could take with the bishop. I mean, he could take with the knight and be on that pawn, and the knight would be on that pawn. These pawns are all falling like a house of cards. What if I do it a little different and play knight c8? The idea, I don't know if that makes any progress. Uh, let's see. I can just take the draw. But you know what? I don't like taking draws. I like to learn something. Now, everyone's at a different level. Do you understand why bishops of opposite colors are draws? Well, we're going to find out because I'm going to play knight e4, I'm thinking, and just make it a draw. But I've got a ever so slight advantage here. And I'm not going to make it a bishop opposite color. Let's play to restrict this knight, okay? Where's this knight trying to go? Well, I can go to a4. I'm thinking a bishop bishop f1. That takes d3 away. But what if it goes to a4? That's attacking a couple of pawns. b4, if knight a5. I can play c4. Let's do that. You know, just capturing pawns runs them out. b4, and we're going to let the chips fall where they may. Okay. Okay, b6, as I expected. Now, here in this game, I have the happy option that I've kept my dark squared bishop. Sometimes these things can come in handy. Now, first thing to ask is can he move his knight and then trap my bishop? Well, no, I can clear a retreat for it. I've given him the c5 square, but I've got the c6 square. So the thing to do here is to drive that knight out of a5 so I can work on c6, although it may not be enough. Knight b4. I don't mind taking double pawns because I get pressure on this half-open file. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, here she's spending a tempo with a6, or a7, a5. That weakens b6 a little bit, gives me b5. I'm just going to develop my rooks. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, now knight there, knight f5. Okay, I should develop my bishop. What do I want it? g5, and then I'm threatening to take and give a check. This also battens down, hatches a little bit on h4, so bishop g5. Okay, so here I played rook fc1, and now getting a piece to that diagonal to get onto b4, which is the right thing to do. So now if I play queen b3, knight a5, queen goes to a3, attacking his queen. If he takes the queen, I can take with the knight, breaking the opposing the file. So queen b3, I think, is the move. I think I can do it now. Let's see what happens. Queen b3, knight. Yeah, queen b3. Okay, c5. Okay. Let's see. Kind of gone quiet here. I can triple up on the F file. Queen F4. I can play E4. I don't know what that does except shut my bishop off. Let's see. I have 7 pawns to 6. I'll go ahead and triple up. It just looks good. Okay, Queen F4. What's he doing? Rook H. She doing Rook H6. The moment I move this knight on F3, I've got a tremendous battery coming down. Let's see. I play Rook B7. Queen takes, Rook takes, King takes. Knight takes discovered check and pick up the bishop. Let's try it. Okay. Queen D6. Okay, that prepares to castle queenside. Let's go pin that bishop. Seek some exchanges here. Okay, knight A5 as I thought. Now what was my last move? B4. So now I play C4. Okay, C4. And let him worry about his pawn on B7. There you have it. Okay. So she saw that trick and came there. Let's see. I have a tempo on the queen. Knight E4. Can't be bad. Close out my diagonal. Let's see what happens here now. That's a crazy game. She just utterly destroyed me. Best game of her life. I was so proud of her. Oh, wow. She, one of my students. She's learning the right way to play. Okay. All right. Took that. Now less pressure on the light squares. Some pressure on H2. Okay. Queen went to A6. Suppose I triple, then I'm threatening Rook B8 check, followed by mate. Okay. So the knight came back to C3. Now I can take on B7. He takes on A2. I got his pawn split. The pawn on B4 is under assault. Let's play A3 here. A3. Knight B1. Knight takes B7. Knight takes A3. I think I'll be okay here. Okay. I thought I heard a click like a game ended. You know, it sounded like a click, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Which games... Are still games going? I think I have 6 games going. I'm trying to find them all here. Let's see. I don't have my wireless stuff up today. My wireless headset, because I carefully misplaced the charger and I want to save it. I'm working off a different set of headphones, so I can't walk around as easily. Now I can take the pawn on C6, and if and when he takes on C4, my knight comes back and takes it. So bingo. Okay. What did he play? Rook d8. Okay, takes it away from the king. I mean, from my king, which is fine with me. How about if I come over to a4 and go to e4 and threaten mate? He'll see that. Queen a4, plan rook f6 next. Okay, we'll see what happens. Okay, he took. And now, do I take this pawn? Yeah, take a pawn. Hey, I've won a pawn. And he has to prove the draw. If he gets a draw, he gets a draw. We're trying to play chess here. Okay, knight b1. Well, he's not attacking the pawn because it's guarded by my knight. Of course, I can push the pawn if I want. Probably not a bad idea to push at some point. He can't drive my knight away from c4. He has nothing to drive it away with other than his king. So he can play bishop b2 next and make me advance it. But notice his knight doesn't really have a lot of way out of here. If it goes back to c3, how does it get out? It's protected on c3, but the question is, how does it get out or get active in the game? I need to take a walk. The video is almost an hour long, and I need to stretch my legs and drink some of my Coke. So I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. So there's no point in... Oh, I can't play bishop b2. My knight's on it. It's time to get the king into play. e2 to d1. Well, no, he's going to get cut off. He's got to go to d3 and restrict that knight. King... He'll probably get his king going. King f1, king f8, king e2, king e7, king d3, and he can't play king d6. Haha. Okay, king f1. Okay. There, that got taken. Okay, I don't want to take the bishop, I suppose. Let's see, or do I just get a mate? Or is that a mate? If she takes with the knight, it is. What if I check? Okay, rook check, king up, queen b7 check, forcing king takes. Then rook check, forces the king up to d6, or c6, I mean. How do I get at it from there? Rook check. Obviously, knight takes gets mated, so I can play rook takes knight here. That threatens queen b8 mate. takes, threatens a mate, which he's got to stop. Let's see. Rook takes. If rook takes its mate, queen b8 threat is the threat he can take with the king. Oh, that's a problem. Where's this go? Let's put him on h1. Rook takes d7, king takes. Then I have a knight check, winning the queen. Yeah, that works. Okay, rook takes. All right, now king b8. Now what was I saying? Put the rook on f6. Okay, rook goes to f6. Now he's trying to get the knight out. I won't let it. King up to e2. He's trying to play bishop c1 and attack the pawns that way. But that's fine. Just get my king in the game. Let's see, wait. Bishop c1. He's not attacking the pawn on a3. Dang it. That knight's covering it. God, I can't see anything. I'm such a potzer. How'd I become a chess master? Well, you got me. I'll miss things, but I'll still see them. Give me time. That's why I suck at bullet and blitz and won't play it. Okay, and in effect, that's what I'm playing, extended blitz in these simuls. That's why I lose games. But that's okay. I don't mind. I'm here to help you play better. Okay, let's see. Bishop takes f3. It's his move. It's his move here. Good. He's taking his time. Okay. Thought I heard a click that a game ended. Okay, well, you're not attacking anything. Oh, yeah, you are. Your knight's on it. Duh. Okay. I see. Boy, I'm a potzer. Okay, a4. Now, knight c3 check doesn't fork anything. Okay, so a4. Rook takes, and my turn for a mate. Okay, so dodged a bullet here. She rolled me up last time, and I don't know how different this was, what we did different. I didn't really prepare. Yep, 143 means I love you. She typed it, I typed it. That's my girl. Okay. She asked if, not sure. Okay, let's see. He saved his queen. Let's see. How about if we drive that knight away? d4. I can take on f7 next. Okay, so knight there, trying for bishop opposite colors. Very clever. Okay, well, the answer is no. You're not going to get bishop opposite colors. Although my king is so advanced, I could maybe do it. Let's see. Knight takes, b5. Bishop there. Now my king's got to get into play. I think it's probably a draw, but my king is very active. Bishop opposite colors in an ending a pawn down are usually drawn, but there are exceptions if I can get a pass pawn and make him give up his bishop for it. So the question is, where do I put my knight? Let's see. a5 with the idea that if knight c2, my pawn goes to b5, and I've got his pawn restricted, and I'm getting ready to move my bishop, put the knight on c6. So definitely not losing my pawn back. So knight a5 is the ticket. Knight a5. I'm going to keep him from playing knight c4. Knight c2 is going to end up getting him forked. Well, no, I can't. Let's see. Knight c2, king d1, knight takes... No, I get him forked. Knight c2, king d1. My knight's protecting my bishop. Okay, knight a5. Okay, he castled. Now, let's see. Let's go attack, uncover an attack on his knight with d4 and try to occupy c5 with my knight and get my kingside attack going. Okay, attacking my rook, but this nets me 2 minors for the rook, which will put me a piece ahead. So I take that, and he brought his king closer, so I'm going to work, well, see. One drawback, if his king comes up to d6, I can play bishop f8. I'm going to bag a pawn. So, what if I play knight b3 here? Start working on that bishop. And that gives him c4 to get his knight out. King d3, king e7. I play f4. Bishop b2. For all it's worth, I'm up a pawn. King d3 feels right. Okay, now I played that. Now I have this move, queen a3. Right? That was what I was saying. Okay, queen a3. Does he have knight c2? No, I'm on his queen. Okay. Ooh, look what we got here. A sacrifice. Okay, didn't see that coming. What if I take this first so that I can play bishop g4 check? Or no, I'm not. Wait a minute. Not bishop. I want to get queen f5 check in, but I can't. I play rook takes, e7. And if queen takes, then I can take on g3. Right? Okay, so try that. And if it's tactically unsound, I'll find out soon enough. Okay. Rook takes threatens a mate. And I think I'm safe. Okay, king e7. Now king d6 will be a mistake, so do I want to play f4 here? Keep his minors all bottled up. So make... Or do I play king c3? The idea is to play king b3 and then find a way to drive his bishop out of there. See, king c... I've got his knight cut off. Let's see. Don't know. I don't know. Okay. 45 minutes here. King c3 takes b2 away from his knight. And if the bishop retreats, I play king b2 and win it. So let's keep his minor pieces bottled up. Okay. Now knight came back there. Okay, now we throw a tempo gainer, rook c6, I think. Rook c6. Yeah, rook c6. Okay. Now I take this, and I've got 2 pieces for the rook. Or do I, now I'm threatening a queen f5 check. Okay, so now his queen went back to b8. He's getting ready for knight c5, or is he? Let's see. How about if I play knight d2? The idea of that is to be able to take back on b3 with the knight if he decides to rip. Okay, he could play bishop d7 here. Well, gotta make up my mind here. Of course, I can always give up the exchange and have this tremendous pass pawn, but I don't know if that's enough. Rook ac1, bishop takes b3, ab3, and I can play knight c5 or retreat my queen, and he can't stop b4 driving him out. Okay, so take the 7th first, or take double the rooks first. Okay, what is... Oh, it took my queen. Okay, now I got to take back with the knight. And the hatches are battened down, so to speak. You can't get to b3. Okay, I think that's the way. Okay, there's a check. Got to get out of check. Okay, now knight b1. Now, don't you get your critters forked, or am I missing something? King c2. You move the bishop, I take the knight. You move the knight. You can't attack anything. You can get the pawn on b4. Bishop d2, king takes, but that'll put me a piece ahead. Okay, so now you move the king out of danger. Okay, so what's happened here is I've broken his attack and picked up 2 pieces for the rook. Should be a decisive advantage for white. He did this, I think, because he wants to play rook h3. So, what entry squares does he have? Answer is none. So I think I can just play queen f5 here. You can't enter on e1, e2, e3, e4, or e5. He can double rooks and try to get a rook down to h2, but I think I can stop that easily enough. So let's stop. No. My queen's position needs to improve. So let's just go ahead and play it, even though it's not with a check. Keep that knight pinned and see what happens. Okay, now I get a mate. I think I get a mate. Let's see, rook takes check. Rook king c8. And queen c6 is mate. Okay, so check. Okay, so he's going to win a pawn back, but I got a piece. Okay, so king b1. Okay. And now this is checkmate. Okay, 2 games done. Let's try to do a run through these games. I was probably losing this game at one point. I missed your d4. It was a very powerful move. Somebody moved. Okay. Let's see. He wants to come attack my pawns. Well, go ahead. Knight c4. That takes d6 from your king. Okay, knight c4. Which game was I looking at? Not this one. Okay, attack my pawn. Well, guess what? You can't have it. Okay, so I just cover that. I'm a piece up. Okay. Darn. Every time I try to look at a game, okay, let's go attack your pawns from behind, tie your king down. Well, you can come back, but I'll gain a tempo. Okay, did take. Now knight c5 is coming. I retreat my queen and play b4. Okay, just trying to look at these games. Yeah, okay, this one. Okay, so takes. Now e4, I think he's winning. Because the pawn's going to take on... My knight moves, and he takes on d3, and he's threatening to take on e2. Somebody moved. Okay, where did my bishop start? I'll gain a tempo. I'll put her back on b5. Okay, he took that knight. Now I take back with the knight. Okay, now going into a lost ending. Okay, now knight b5. Well, I'll play knight b5. Knight b5, a6. Knight d6. Try and soften up his pawns a little bit. What's he threatening? Anything I should worry about? How about if I play bishop h3 and take over? Wait, I got to watch my pawn on a4. Let's see. Knight b5, a6, knight d6, rook c7. I can't play rook c7. Yeah, knight b5 is the move here. Okay. Okay, here I'll happily trade queens and work with the minor pieces. Okay, your attack is broken. And let's see. I'm trying to go over the games, but I just can't quite. Okay, so now I take c5 away from the knights. That's the first step. Not allow you in there. Okay. First step, take away a square. b4. Okay, let's see. Okay. So the e5 is a nice outpost. It's a good place for my knight. Let's maneuver it there first. Knight c5. He'll cover e6, and I'll play... What if he plays e5? That's dumb. Pawn takes, and I win with a pin. So knight c5, and the idea is to put it back on d3 and then get to e5. Okay. All right, he's still playing here, so now it's just a matter of getting my king in the game and keeping his king out of my pawns. Okay. So I was trying to go over this game. I think he's winning with this position. This pawn takes. And you know, that pawn's going to get to the 7th rank. I got to play some... There's always somebody has to move when I'm trying to look at a game. Oh well, at least the interface is working. It refreshes when you need to. There I could have played bishop e8 and won a pawn, but it doesn't matter. Let's just play it anyways now. Move late. Forces pawns up to the light squares. Or the dark squares, rather, and take over the light squares. Okay. Now your king can't penetrate. Okay, so f6. Attacking my bishop. My bishop needs to come back to d2. That's a no-brainer. Okay. Now, just a matter of putting him in a Zugzwang here. My rook pawn is of the right color in case somehow all these kingside pawns disappear. Okay, so I'll just back him up. Somebody... Okay, what's going on here? I just play a5. Okay, so now I just zugzwang the king out of there. Okay, I did hear a game go off. He disconnected. Okay, now we got this guy tied up. Okay, I just zugzwang his king out of there. Okay, so now we play knight d3, and I've got control of e5. And now king e5. Okay, here goes your f-pawn. And now your g-pawn is going to go. Make sure you don't get in a stalemate. And then your a-pawn will fall. Okay, that game's over. Okay, so what do we say? 45 what? What time control did you want? 45:30. Where are you? Challenge. I never did find out. I heard a click a long time ago, and I heard that there was a game over, but I couldn't find it, and just didn't refresh. So 45:30. Create new game. He'll help me with the moves I'm supposed to play. Okay, so okay. I have 66 minutes here. I'm trying to get also cover these positions. D takes was E takes D3 was winning, and I have to put my rook in E1. He gets a pawn on the 7th, and just yeah. But anyway, he kind of messed up, and he gave up material, and but this will be good practice for him. But really, there's not much to look at after this point. Let's just take a quick look at what he could have done instead of taking here. See, take this. Now the threat is to take on this square with a fork, and I don't have time for f3 because the fork comes anyway. So I have to stop and play rook here. Now you get this pawn on the 7th rank, and you're pawn up. So assuming you're winning, I guess I can probably win that back in time, but that's what you should have done. So I'm going to close this game down. And then, let's see. This is the game that... Okay. I'm assuming this is what I'm supposed to do here. Okay. Now, I can take on a7. He takes on b2. I put my rook on b1.
He takes, I take on b1. His bishop takes on a4. My rook takes on b7, and we have ourselves a pretty drawn game. Let's see. I can take with the rook on c2. His bishop takes. Now he's attacking d3. I can play rook a3. That guards the pawn. He can play rook c8. Just give me that pawn. I don't know. I'll come back on this one. Okay, what's happening here? Knight d7. Okay. So he's contesting e5, but I can control it easily enough. Let's just do it and get it done with bishop f4. Okay. So let's see which games are still going. This game is going. Okay, this one I thought I could close out, and I didn't yet. Maybe I closed out the wrong one. Okay, let's try and close it. Okay. Now let's see what games are. This one's still going. He's going to have to show me what to play. Bishop g2. I'm assuming we're playing the same moves. Here, maybe if I get them here, I can find out what they are. Can I copy and paste? Maybe I can. Let's see. I can save it off screen. Okay. There. Now I know what to do. Okay, let's see. Did he move here yet? No. He's taking his time, which is good. Okay. Okay, he played rook there. He's trying to double rooks. Oh, my bishop's covering. My bishop's covering h1. I can play knight e5, knight takes, bishop takes, he doubles rooks. Then I push my pawn to g4, and he can't come in anywhere. So knight e5. Whoops, that's not the knight, that's the knight. Okay, knight e5. Two bishops just clean a rook out. We'll see that in a bit. Okay, this game ended, so we're assuming that he's going to play the moves that he said he would. I've got them copied. Okay, we'll close that. And let's see. Knight f6. Acquiring this side castle. Okay. Now I've got to decide on this game. Well, I just clicked it off. Let's see. I think I closed the game with... I went to close the game. Maybe I closed the game with Carly by mistake. Darn it. Didn't get a chance to go over that. It might still be on here. Because I know I was trying to close the game off. Okay, now I've got the two bishops against a rook, and they are deadly. Let's see what's over here. Yeah, I don't see the game with Chicky anymore. Darn it. Well, I want to make some comments. I'll just do it off the memory. I know that your attack in this game went a little slower than the other one. Maybe I was being too defensive in the other game. I think your queenside pawn pushes weren't good. They didn't help your attack. And that's basically the differences I recall. Okay, so let's see. I have 59 minutes. I have plenty of time. Looks like I have 4 games now. So I won, what, 2 games? Plus 1 on forfeit. Did I close out the one? maybe I closed out the other one too without going over it. Darn it, what is this? Urgh. Okay. Okay, let's see. It's his move there. It's still his move here. This is the new replacement game. G6. Okay, my move I think is D3. Yeah, D3. Okay. Now I got to make up my mind here. Okay. Rook takes. Bishop takes. Let's see. Knight takes A7. Rook takes B2. Rook B1. I mean, that's a simplistic approach. It seems to lead to an even game. Okay, another idea is rook takes, bishop takes, put the rook on A3, but then he swings his rook over and he's ready for bishop 8, F8 to drive it back. Knight takes A7. He could always take on B2. But see, knight takes, rook takes, rook here, rook takes, bishop takes, rook takes. Very even. Very, very, very even. And I have time in that game. Let me look here. Is probably my move. Okay. It's always going to take me back to the game I have a move in. So let's see. I played bishop G7. I played bishop G5 here. Okay. Another move I can play is rook takes, bishop F1. And although I wanted to, looking at bishop H3 earlier, wanting to do that. What if I do it now? Stops him from doubling. He can take on B2, but then I can take on A7. He can't get his rook on the file. Bishop H3, rook takes B2. Knight takes A6. Or not, you can always throw A6 in. Bishop H3, rook takes B2. Knight takes A7. Bishop C2, of all things. But then I can play rook A3. There's pressure on D3 that I don't really want. Dang, well, let me look at this game with X-Dave. Okay. I closed out the other game, so I have no way of knowing how much time was being spent in that game. Doesn't really matter. I wish they had timestamping in their interface, but they don't. Castle, so say C3 was my move. Then knight BD2. Okay, put his queen on B8. Defending his knight. Okay, what if we go threaten a check and attack that knight? This bishop, light squared bishop's not doing much good. Let's get it in the game. Bishop H3. Okay, now if I play G4, you can play rook H3, but I play king G2, and your rook's going nowhere. Okay, so G4. Back to this game. Let's see, D6. That's what we played before. D6, knight BD2. Okay. I have 54 minutes there. It's plenty of time. Okay, let's see. I can close this chat. Okay, let's see. I think I have 4 games going. Did he move? Yeah, we're back in this thing. Bishop d7, queen c2. Okay. Hey, hold it on this. He's moving kind of quick. I'm losing time on it. Rook c8. And I played e4, and he played knight e8. And good. He's following per agreement. a4. Right? a4. Now I put my king on g2. Okay, back to this one. We're getting caught up. Knight c7. Now knight c4, and he plays h6, and I put my bishop back on d2. It's always bringing me back to this game. A6. Is that what he... What do I play? Dang it, you're breaking the game. Okay. I don't know what to say. You want to play the game, play the same moves you did before. I'm just going to resign this game, I think, and get it over with. Okay, f5. Well, let's see. I can check and put my queen on e6. Let's check. Get the queen off this diagonal. Although that doesn't protect b5 anymore. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. All right, now it's time to work on this game. There is a free pawn, but he gets an annoying check, so we're not going to let him do that. Going to take over the F file. Okay. Well, I got to challenge this guy again. Where is he? 45-30. Okay. Let's see. Queen b3 check. You can play knight f7. That takes the pressure off b5. And if he plays... Well, have to waste time getting this game back. Okay, get it right. Get it right. I mean, I'm doing a favor playing the game anyways. At a faster time control, but... Okay, queen b3 check. If knight f7, he's off b5. If king f8, I can play queen d6, and I'm attacking the knight on d7, and I'm attacking the knight on d6. So he has to play knight f7, right? Oh, queen check it is. And back to my move here again. Okay, let's get this game moving along. Let's see, knight f6, I castle. Now I play d3. Now I play bishop g5. Pretty sure these are the moves. c6. Okay. Next step, we take We're going to attack e6. So g5. Okay, what's happening here? What do we do? Okay, bishop g5. c3. He plays d6. I play knight bd2. Okay, knight bd2. I'm back to this game. I know, I'm sorry I haven't moved here. Just gotta deal with things here that are, that are developing. Let's see. Bishop d7, what's my move? Queen c2, rook c8, e4, okay. Let's come back to this, and I pre-move e4. He's already moved, okay, e4. Now, will he get it right? Knight e8, a4, knight c7. Knight e8, a4, knight c7. Then knight c4, I think. Knight c4. Now he's supposed to play h6. Okay, I'll trust him to play it. Check now. Insert the queen on d6. Okay. Now we go attack your rook. And threaten a check of our own. Okay. Now what's happening here? Do you play h6, I hope? Yep. Okay, so I think I play bishop d2, d5, knight e3. So his next move needs to be no. Is it d5? Yeah, d5. Okay. And knight e3, and we're set. Okay. Now I get a free knight, unless my queen gets trapped. I didn't really think about that. Okay. Probably it doesn't. I can wiggle out of there. Queen takes d7. Okay, now let's see. Did we get a new move here finally? d4. Okay, there's his move. So I'm going to take with the pawn here, like I've been doing in the other games. Pawn takes. Okay. Now, I think I can finally start thinking about this. Maybe it's just time to liquidate and go for the draw. I don't really see a way to pursue the advantage. Okay. Now, I can stop and check first. That doubles up the attack on the pawn. I could play. Let's see. Let's check first. King f8. Ooh, we got to be careful here. Where's this rook coming from? Or not king f8. Oh, dang! Mouse slip! Ah! The move was playable! Ah, okay. Where is it? Mouse slip. Trying to set the piece back down as I'm illustrated. Okay. There, we got a draw. Okay. Thank you. Okay. You know, you pick up a piece, you got to make sure you put it on a square it can't move. So you think A1's a safe square. No, you don't put it on any empty square. You put it on a square with a piece. That's the lesson to be learned. Okay. It's not so much that I draw the game. I don't care about the result. I can't show. I'll demonstrate how white will win this. Okay, he took with the knight.
And now I take here and put my knight on c4. Okay. Did he move here yet? Yeah, he took that. Okay, fine. Anything I should worry about? Okay, he played rook there. Now, let's see. Knight's loose. Knight b5. Okay, knight b5. What did he take something? Huh. It's on my own piece. Didn't even see it. Okay, fine. Bishop f1. Attacks the knight. Okay, so now knight a3 gets me the open file. Knight a3, rook takes, rook takes. Okay. He took with the bishop. Okay, that's fine. You can take with the bishop. I was expecting you to take with the pawn. I'll just play my knight over here and continue about my way. Okay, I got to take a walk. Okay. Okay, so I can play rook c7 here and menace g7, and then if queen g8, I can play a surprise little move like bishop c4. And come back to this when I got plenty of time. Let me see. He took that. Now I get the C file. I'm down a pawn too. How did that happen? I'm not too worried about the pawn. Let's see. Damn mouse slip. I got a pin on my knight on e3. Not too worried about that. Rook c7. How about rook check and rook b8? It's either we'll pin his bishop or drive his king away. Let's check. Okay, check. Okay, let me see. Peek at this game.
He put his bishop back. Um, Queen b3 menaces a pawn. Let's see. Just throws my rhythm off with these damn mouse slips. I mean, it's my fault. I picked up the rook and was thinking of the check and had a second thought. Go park it somewhere where I think it can't move to, and oops, it can move there. You know, you're penalized. Okay, so what do I want to do here? This is the game we resumed twice. He lost connection and disconnected and forfeited. We came back, agreed to play the same moves again. Then he butchered it and didn't play something right. I was going to give up and just quit it, but he said he'd give up. So, you know, makes it a little frustrating. I think it's a good time to play a5 here, and the reason is I don't want him to play b6, and I've got pressure on b6, and I can maybe be playing moves like bishop e3 or queen b3, as I was noting, because so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, now I've got to think about a move here. Let's see. I'm down 2 pawns. Am I down 2 pawns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm down 1 pawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Essentially because I wasn't watching things that he was uncovering an attack on my knight. Let's take a look at that. F takes e4. He's on my knight. Got to put the knight somewhere. H4 is fine. You can grab another pawn, but that's okay. It becomes a white game. Okay, so now you're up material, a pawn, and you saved your piece. You can expect sometimes in games to drop stuff and get it back and then try to fight. Okay, so seems like I missed another good move in here. Phew. Instead of bishop f1, what's wrong with... Oh, rook check, queen takes... Yeah, what's wrong with rook check? Boy, I'm a potzer. You got 2 breaks here. Rook check kills you. Okay, so I missed them both. Okay, now, are you trying to generate some counterplay? Maybe. So rook c7, you should play queen f8. And I'll drop my bishop back to e1. And then you play d3. And no, you can't play d3. You drop your knight. And when you play... Well, maybe you can. This is interesting. So I've missed 2 good moves in a row here. But that's all right. You know, just calm down. Come back to this when I got plenty of time. Okay, knight e6. So now I play queen b3 and bother your b pawn. Okay, that's back to this game. Okay, what's happening here in these games? He moved his king there. Now I go fork a couple pawns. Okay, there we have it. Okay, now it's bringing me back to this game again. Let's try and get through this one if it'll let me. What would happen if I picked up the rook and started check, and then I had thoughts about king here, and both my bishop and rook are under attack, and I just draw to him on a1 thinking he's way out of the way. You know, when you're hovering a rook over here, you I say go look for a square far away. Well, unfortunately, it was a square I could go to. So what I need to play is King G3 here. He needs to stop this check, and I think he has to play this. And now I can take on G7. That's just a winning game. So I'm going to take it back. Okay, plop. He did a sack I missed, but I had a sack of my own. And here I took with the H-pawn, being a little different because he's not ready to play bishop H3 with his queen battery. And I decided to activate the knight and get the bishop developed. And now came a combination. Not yet. There it came. If I take, he plays queen takes check. Well, I can play queen G2. Gee, I didn't even see that. Got things I'm missing today. But I thought this worked fine. He takes, and then I just take the knight. He doesn't get the G-pawn. And I bring my queen in, and essentially white has a winning game. So thanks for playing. I'm happy you got this practice. It would have been interesting seeing how two bishops dominate a rook, but if you want examples, find my opening blog series on how to play the openings, part 1, the Hungarian defense. There's a game example in there where I do exactly that. You should have the complete score against a future very strong player, Joaquin Perkins, who finally has broken 2,000 and has won 7 national championships. And anyway, I guess you have to guard this pawn, but I'm still checking. And B7 is going to fall. You can get some counterplay on the 7th rank finally, or the 8th rank, but I don't know if it's enough. These two bishops are killers. Look at that. Anyway, thanks for playing. I'm going to close this one down and work on the ones I have left. Okay, so which games are left? Okay, here I have the least time. Okay, so I can play E5 here and menace B6 a little more. It's not normally a move I play, but I'm going to play it. Okay, so it's my move here still, right? What have I got? 3 games left. Did he move? He advanced his pawn. He's trying to work with a pin. Okay, fine. Did I butcher this one? Probably. Let's see. The red is B5. I'm sorry, B4. And let's see, rook takes, B4, rook here, pawn takes, rook down here. No, I can't take on F7. Look at that, see? Blind. Okay, game's over, I'm busted. Let me come back and I'll give it another thought. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, do I have any moves here? Whoops, wrong one. Man, this game, all these games turned from a mouse slip. I was delaying this game, but I did come back till the mouse slip. Knight C2. No, that Knight C2 is a defense. Bishop F1, B4, Knight C2. That breaks the check. Okay, not over yet. Okay, I got to figure out what to do here. I was saying rook C7, queen F8, bishop E1. But if he plays D3, my queen is still covering D2. Okay, so that's fine. So rook C7. Okay, rook C7. Now he's opposed bishops. Uh, let's see. I'll take it. Okay. Bishop f8. He's attacking the knight that way. Well, I was looking at b4. I can do it that way. Rats. Knight c2. He just takes it. Yeah, game over. Okay, thanks for the game. All right. Had better fate here. Seems like I had a better position. Let's see. Going through all this maneuvering, let's go back to the beginning. Okay. White's got the better game here. And I'm doing all the right things, I think. Getting on the file. And I didn't mind this. This was all planned. Do I need to do that? Yeah, there's a fork. Okay, takes. Now let's see. I played knight b5. I was looking at bishop h3. And why did I reject that? Because of rook takes, bishop takes a4? Well, you know, I've got him shut off the file, and I can put the rook on c7, and I'm going to... then he plays bishop c6. White's got to be better here, even if I just play a4. But instead, I went this way and walked into pins. So thanks for the game. Where's the? We've got to close the right one out. This one, okay. Now I have what? 2 games left. He played queen f8. Now I play bishop e1. Okay, takes. Okay, so now I play bishop e3. So technically I could have had just one game left. I let this guy start again. I want to... Simul is now almost 2.5 hours old. Video is almost 2 hours old. He might play rook d8 here. I'm going to play queen g4. Two, three, four, five, six. I'm down 1 pawn. No big deal. Okay. Get these 2 games over. There's a lot of time on the clock here. There's 90 minutes each. What's on the clock here? I mean, not 90 minutes total. Okay? Too quick of a time. I gave too much time on this. Well, that's okay. He played a5. Okay, I don't think that's wise. The reason it isn't wise is because he didn't chase my queen out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take. I got to figure out how to way to provide a bit of a menace here somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where yet. Maybe bishop g2, drive your rook out. Okay, bishop g2. Since I can't do the trick with bishop c4, let's get that rook out of there. Oh, missed that check. What a potzer I am. Okay. Let's see, did he move over here? I take your rook. Don't take my bishop. Save your knight. Let's see. You got to be careful with these mouse slips. You pick these things up and they go in the wrong place and you mess your game up. Okay, do I want to take the knight and play down the exchange, or I want to take the rook? I'm going to take the rook. Okay, see what happens. Maybe you should play rook d8 now. Okay, is it my move here or is it his move? Who's sending me an alert? Okay, I'll accept. I don't know who this guy is. Yeah, rook d8. Is this guy on the list? He wants to play with me. Is he on the list? Yeah. Okay, so queen c6. Okay. Okay, he's still thinking. Okay. Let's see. He's still thinking. Don't know if that helps you. Well, you're going to pick up a pawn with check. Okay, fine. You pick up a pawn with check. I just want this simul over. You know, all these people bugging me to play when they know the time. I mean, I'm not taking it out of anybody. Is it my move here? Yeah, it is. Now what did you do? What did you take here? Did you have anything you could take there? No, you're checking me. Okay, fine, check. Make me move there. Just gaining time on your clock. That's smart. Okay. You want to play knight d4 and anchor the knight, or anchor the d4 square in. Is that your idea? Well, how about if I play a3 and mess your pawns up? No, that doesn't work. You push by. I don't know what I want to do here. I have no idea. I can't even think. I mean, okay, what are you doing? You're checking there. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. King e2, bishop check. Okay, let's see what happens. I can play f4. What do I want to do here? I can't even think now. Okay, he moved. Just going to play f4, try to shut his bishop in, give up the bishop for the knight, and my pawns will take squares away from his knight. Okay, do you move? He moved. No? Okay, so what's happening? He's got 7 minutes to find a move. Well, all these people want my friendship. Well, I'll accept everybody. Excuse me. Okay. If he takes my pawn, I have queen c3 check. You can take on h2 with check. Okay, let's see. How'd my queen get on c1? Wasn't it sitting on e7 just a minute ago? Yeah. Okay. I don't need that window open. Oh wait, you just... What time in there? It is 8:36 a.m. for me. Queen e4. Okay. Queen c3. Queen e2 check. Let's see. Queen c3, queen e2 check. King d1. Let's see. Queen c3, queen e2 check, queen d1. He can play queen takes e1 check. No, he can't. Okay. I don't think he can. We'll find out soon enough. Okay, I've got his pawn pinned. It's pandemonium. Okay. All expression. All kinds of things pinned. Anyway, 1 second. I'm going to turn the air conditioner on. It's starting to get toasty in here. You know, you can only make so many blunders and save a game. I don't think I've made any in this one yet. But definitely drew a game I could have won, lost a game I wasn't worse in. And was clearly winning this other game, this game here, and just bleh. Okay, so I'm down 2 pawns here, but he's running low on time, so I'm not too worried about that one. Worst I can do is lose another one, and I know I was winning it, so it doesn't really matter. He came back, which is good for him. You know, people are going to blunder against you. You can't count on it, but it does happen. Okay, so I think the best chance here is to trade queens. And now I'm going to attack your... No, I'm going to check you first. Let's see. Check, king g7. Check. I'm going to end up pressuring that bishop on h7 or h6. Pulling a rabbit out of my hat here. If you want to play for a win, you got to give me the pawn on h7. Or step into a pin of your own and break your pin, because then I'll take your pawn on e5. Let's see. We'll come back to that. Oh, he moved. Okay, check. Okay, so let's see. Did he move here yet? No. He put his knight on c7 again. Okay, what to do? If he tries to activate the bishop too quick with the e6, I can throw the knight into d6, so maybe he needs to play bishop f8 first. I thought he was going to put the knight on d4, but he didn't. Maybe he's trying to get it to b4 and d5. Where'd it come from? e6? So maybe his maneuver is knight a6 to b4 to d5. Yeah, fine. Come back to that. He's moved. Okay, do we get a draw here by repetition? I think we do. I'm just going to take and get out of here. Whoops. Yeah. Stupid chess.com interface. We don't want that. I mean, chess.com, you know, it's nice that you're doing these things. Maybe I'm just going to offer the draw. I think I can claim it and get it over with. That didn't claim it. Urgh. Okay. And I want the simul over. Urgh. I don't care about blowing the games, but it's frustrating, when you see this thing happen, and that's what's causing it. That's what's causing it, is when accidents happen and it messes up the play. I mean, I guess that's part of the thing. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and you've got to adjust. But it's still frustrating when things are going one way and they end up not. Okay, well, fine. If you don't want to, no, got it. Trying off the draw again. Can I claim it yet? Third move repetition. Okay. Maybe you have to make the draw offer beforehand. No, wrong one. Wrong window. Okay. Maybe you have to offer the draw before. And will let me offer a draw again. Okay. Okay, fine. Now you're going to lose. Okay, so first step, he can't win this. Let's see. King d1, bishop b4. Let's see. I'm not sure why with the king. Let's put the king over here. We'll have another mouse slip. Bishop f2 is a possibility. He'll check, and I put the bishop back, or king back. He's got to deal with his rook. Let's just put the king back. Get it done with. Okay. Now, what did he play? Knight c7. I still haven't moved here. Do I want to try to play for d4? Not necessarily. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. His time is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. Bishop c3 is my threat. You'll probably play bishop b4. Oh, he played rook there. Okay, that doesn't bother me. What's he trying to do? Let's check him. Because I can. Check. Okay. Okay, let's see. Now you have no check, so I'm going to tempo your bishop. I'm going to cut your king off. Okay. Now I actually have a threat of rook f4 check, king e3, bishop d2 mate. How about that, huh? I'm also threatening rook f4 check, winning your rook. So, let's see. Bishop d6 seems forced. And then I play rook f6. And attack your bishop again. Okay. So let's see. Okay, what do I want to do here? Rook check, king f3. How about if I go pester your pawn? He plays rook a3. Let's see, where did this rook come from? I'll have another mouse slip. Okay, fine. Excuse me, let's see. Not sure. I got 60 minutes here. I have an hour, and he won't take the draw, even though it was... Okay. Well, he's not going to take a draw. I'm not blaming anybody. I agreed to. I didn't have to agree to play. I want to give you a game, but it's... just... Sorry. I'm just not sure. The point is that things go wrong that upset your concentration, and you have to recover from them. Now, normally in a normal game of chess, you don't have your concentration upset because the tournament hall is quiet, Uh, Nobody is bothering you. If anybody does bother you or making noise, these things can be dealt with by the tournament staff. And everything is peachy keen. Okay, so I've got an hour here to figure out. Um, he has no check. I can go pick up his A pawn uh, with rook A7. Uh, I mean, it's almost ludicrous to say I should try for a win a pawn down, but um, rook A7 is a candidate move. I don't think checking and bringing him closer to F3 helps. He's not threatening a check on A1. I've got that covered. Let's see. I mean, I don't care if it's a draw, but if you guys don't want to take draws, fine. You know, that's your perfect right. You know, he's trying to claim the draw here, and all it does is offer a draw in the other game. You know, pfft, stupid. What's wrong with this thing? Grr! Maybe you have to press the draw for first. Every server is different. Well, I can play rook A. Whoops. Yeah, I can play rook A7, and I should be fine there. Let's see. Rook F6 is a candidate move. Rook F7. I mean, rook F6, not rook F7. No, rook F7 is... Yeah, rook F6, that's a trap. Bishop G7, rook F4, check. Bingo. Let's see, if I check, he comes into F3, though. Do I want his king in there? It looks awful scary to get that king in there. Rook A7, he could play rook A2. Menace that pawn. I don't know. Rook check, he goes to king to F3. I can go pester that D3 pawn. That might convince him just to take the draw and get it over with. Okay, I'm going to give it a check. Okay. Now, what do I want to do here? I just want to loop. I don't know what I want to do here. Maybe I should put my rook on D1 and just overprotect that pawn on D3. Okay. King F3, I play rook D3, invite him to go back to E4. Okay. So, did he move here yet? No, he didn't. He needs to move here because he's running out of time. No, I don't want that thing. This is the window I want. Okay. You have a minute and 2 seconds to get out of check. Now it's down to 45 seconds. Anyway, no big deal. Let's look at the other game. It'll click back in within 36 seconds when your time is running out. Okay. I played rook d1. Okay, king there. I backed your king up. Let's see. What do I do now? Should be a simple path to a draw with rook e5 check and pick up your pawn on a5. I just want the game over, that's all. If you get too carried away, you might lose. Okay, did he move yet? No, he didn't. Okay, so I do believe the game is dissipating into a draw. But if you don't want it, you don't have to take it. You didn't want it, I'm not going to take it either. That's the way I play. Let's see, do I want to play bishop d2? Would that end up giving me a lost game? Let's see. Probably end up giving me a lost game. I'll just go push these pawns, get them traded off, and that should suffice to convince you. Here we go. Bingo. You're getting some time back on the clock, but the pawns are coming off. King f4, I can play bishop d2 check. And you can play h5. You've pushed by with g4. You're going to lose your pawn on d3. The game's over. Okay, did he move yet? No. Okay. So let's see. Knight d5. Okay, where's he going? There's a quicker way to d5 than I explained earlier. Boy, I'm really out of it. Okay, bishop f2. Excuse me. Might he try g5 here? Yeah. Make an interesting battle. Okay. You have a minute. You're down to a minute again. Watch your time. Don't lose on time. I haven't even eaten yet this morning. King f3. Wow. It's bold. What do I have to do here? Play h5? get away with g5. It just puts pawns on my color of my bishop. No, h5 should suffice. If he pushes g5, he's going to drop his pawn on d3 soon enough. Okay, so, you know, like I say, it doesn't matter. I made mouse slips and didn't play perfectly. You know, the whole idea is give you guys a competitive game. That's what the idea is. You get one game with me, and nobody gets another game until I get through the list. And I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get through the list because people aren't showing up to play. Okay, you play g5. Now you're going to lose your pawn on d2. And that's all she wrote. Pawn comes off next move. Bingo. Okay, thanks for the game. Clear I was winning this one. But I didn't. Let's go back to the beginning. No, it says he's moving. Oh, he's f6. Okay. What if I play knight e3? Do I have enough attackers on that knight? He's opened up a diagonal, exposing his king. Pawn takes. Yeah, pawn takes. Okay. Okay, last game. Last game. Let me run over this one. Clearly I missed several strong wins. I mean, had such a dominating position. Who's Skyping me? I don't have time to look at that. Okay. All right, let's see. So the, whoops, went too far forward. Let's go back just a little bit. Let's see. Now I get C. Yeah, it's going to go play here and take me back. Okay, I have 22 minutes. Let me go finish this game off here. Let's see. Got C6. Now I'm able to keep him out of C5. And now he makes tactical whoops. And I start making tactical oopses. I don't even see the knights under attack. This is when I was having the trouble trying to restart the game with the guy that disconnected. And the other mouse slip. Like I say, you got to recover from these things. Let's see. Takes. Here, bang, goes a knight. But I have rook c8 check, which just wins on the spot. Bingo, I don't see it. Go attack his knight. Now the check's gone. Counter threats. Maybe black has winning chances here. If so, he misplayed it. Said it totally overlooked that check. And then I did see that was the correct move. He found that. That's how my queen got back to c1. Now come the checks. He picks up a pawn with check. And that check. And it looks like I'm busted because there's this check, but I have a way out. And if he takes, I have queen c3 check. And let's examine that. Okay, queen c3 check. I can't put the bishop back. He's got a check here. Now I can repeat, or he can block with the queen. Maybe this wins for him. Because now I'm 3 pawns down. And about to lose both my other pawns. Oh well. Thanks for the game. Take care. I'm going to get this other one going. Okay. I want this Simul over. Okay, remember now we've got a pin, but I can't do anything with it. Let's see. I mean, I don't have a pin until I move the knight. Then the knight's pinned. Okay. Uh, One thing I'm starting to get, even though I have a bad pawn on d3, I'm starting to get a better bishop. Maybe I was talking earlier about a6. Maybe it's a good thing to do. Just fix a pawn of his on a dark square. Let's do it. Okay. He can play b5 if he wants. I don't care. I'll play knight a5 maybe. I don't care if he takes the pawn. It's a weak pawn. Now who's Skyping me? Somebody wants a lesson? Probably. Okay. Okay. So this is the only game. What happened here was he disconnected. I heard a click and I couldn't figure out which, long time ago, and I won a game and I couldn't figure out which game it was because it never took me back to the game. That's the way chess.com operates. It doesn't take you back to a game that's over. I was trying to find it and wasn't sure what happened. Okay, so now we work on the pin. Okay, knight e3. I don't know what's happening here. Almost don't care, but because I just want the simul over. c4. Okay, fine. Takes. I'm going to take with the pawn. I'm going to stick my queen on b7. Here it comes. I'm trying to get a pass pawn on the 7th rank. Okay. So I have latent threats on his knight, which is not pinned now, but it might be. Say knight takes e3, I can play queen takes c6. He has to play rook takes check, rook takes c6, bishop takes e3, rook takes a6. My a6 pawn falls. Yeah, well, let him figure it out. Stretch my legs, grab a bite to eat. I haven't even eaten today. That's what happens when you get up at the crack of dawn. Although he's usually up before 6. My time, I'm usually up well before then. But I didn't get a chance to eat, so I think I have one of my chocolate chip oatmeal bars right handy. I'll grab one of those. So, sorry if I'm chewing here. Maybe I should just step away. Okay. Toss something in the microwave, so I'll have to break again in a few minutes because you don't want to hear me chewing. Uh, his bishop is shut in. His knight is no longer pinned. Not sure what's happening here, really. I think he should be okay. That's my gut instinct. I'm more or less playing in blitz mode where I don't sit and analyze because I'm just kind of tired. It happens. You play too much chess. You get tired. Doesn't matter how young you are or whatever. I'm targeting the pawn on a7. They'll have an advance pass pawn. That's the idea. C4 is kind of weak, but you can push F5 at some point and pressure B2. Black might have play here. I'm not saying he isn't because I'm not really. I've moved the last several moves very quickly. He says something. One of his moves is yo-yo. If I missed a good move, it wouldn't surprise me. Oh, he's disconnected. Dang it. Come on back. Okay, you got 5 minutes to reconnect. I can't start it again. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. Hopefully he gets back. He's reconnected. Good, okay. What do you want here? Okay. So, it's probably not good to take my queen. I think he should liquidate with knight takes e3, and then play rook takes, and then maybe f5. Although I'll get control of. Well, no, I can take his queen. His rook will be on my pawn on a6. Yeah, let's see. Knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes. Now he plays f5. I can always play rook d2, but I don't have. But then I can play rook d7. That's strong. Grab this, trade queens and grab this pawn. The question is if I take with the pawn or not. Probably take with the pawn. Yeah, I think that could be dangerous for him. My microwave meal just finished, but I'm not. It's got to cool down, so I'll wait a few minutes before I go eat again. The video is approaching 3-hour mark. I think I've had him as long as 4 hours. The simul itself is 3 hours and 19 minutes. But I'll turn the video on right away. I found that's better because I don't really say much while I'm trying to get the challenges issued. And for those that have made it this long and wondering why I don't open myself to challenges, is because experience shows me I get challenged by every not meaning this mean, Tom, Dick, and Harry, it's an expression, will challenge me to all kinds of random time controls. And then people on my friends list who I know may be challenging me to a game, and believe it or not, you'd be surprised how many people don't send the right challenge. They put random colors, or them as white, or the wrong time control, or something, or unrated, and it's just easier for me to send challenges, and I don't get a game I'm not intending to get. So that's just the way it is. So hopefully this game ends in the next half hour. I really hope it does. He didn't want to take a draw earlier, even when I accidentally offered it. He wanted to play. That's fine. I admire that. You want to play chess. Another thing I noticed, just didn't even talk about, my bishop on f2 will, if it trades knights, will be attacking that pawn on a7. So there's another way to get some pressure and maybe generate something with a past a pawn here. So let's look at queen takes. It's a move I don't think he can play. Queen takes, pawn takes. If he plays rook d7, rook b8 rather, I can take on a7, and if he plays knight takes e3, bishop takes e3, rook. No, I have to Zwischenzug with a check. Yeah, that's right. Because otherwise, my rook on d1 won't be protected. His rook goes back to d8. I take back, and I'm threatening to play rook a8 if I got all that correctly, pinning and forcing a pawn through. So maybe black can hold this. But that's how you get better at chess. You try to figure it out over the board. The postmortem, you can improve your analytical skills by finding the right path. Over the board, it's a whole new challenge, and sometimes you can find the challenge, and sometimes you can't. And it's through competition against strong players that will toughen you up and make you more likely to find the right path. So at the moment, I'm not exactly sure how black saves this position. c3, okay, didn't quite expect that move. It eliminates any potential counterplay he might have had with that pawn. Pawn takes. If he takes with the knight, I play rook takes rook check, and he's going to drop his queen. So let's do that. Okay. So he's disconnected again. Okay, we wait for him to come back, but I think he's in trouble here. If he takes my queen, I'm tempering his rook, and that pawn is too potent on the 7th rank because I'm also on his knight. I think, unfortunately, he didn't find the right move. I'm not saying there was a defense. I'm not saying there wasn't. I know the position held a lot of poison for him. Normally I can evaluate a position more carefully because I'm sitting at the board over a long time control, and I'll sit and put 100% focus. I'm looking at a two-dimensional screen, not a 3D chessboard, and I admit I'm tired. And sometimes you got to play chess tired or sick. Like say you play a weekly Swiss. Well, week 3 you catch a cold. What can you do? Nothing you can do. Playing a weekend, you get a migraine headache. What can you do? Nothing you can do. Nothing. So, get insomnia. You're playing fatigued. You don't see everything. And the stronger your opponent, the more likely they're going to find your mistakes and punish them appropriately. So, we're waiting for him to come back, but I got a feeling he's in trouble here. Okay, let's examine the key moves. Queen takes b7, a takes b7. I'm on his rook. His rook needs to move. And then nothing is guarding the knight. He can't put the rook on c5 because I play knight takes d5. After rook takes d5, I play rook takes d5, and he can't take the rook because my pawn will queen. So if he plays knight takes e3, I play rook takes d8. His queen is not protected. So I'm on his knight 3 times now. My queen is doing what we call an X-ray. It's attacking the knight on d5 through the queen on c6. Yeah, I'm gonna get my food out of the microwave and oh good, he's back. Okay, I'll let him decide on his move and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm munching a little bit. I'll take a break from that. It's still a little warm. Um, he took the pawn on c3. Okay, counterplay on the rook on a1. Or is it? Knight takes d5. Rook takes d5. Let's see. I have 20 minutes to figure this out. Okay. Knight takes d5, rook takes d5, and I can take the pawn on a7 with my queen. He doesn't have any checks. He can play f5 and menace the rook. Let's see. Sometimes reversing order. No, rook takes d5 doesn't work. By reversing order, I mean reversing the order of your captures. See, rook takes d5 fails to queen takes a1 check. Giving up the queen doesn't seem to do anything. Queen takes c8. He can, I'm going to win a piece. I'm going to win the knight. I'll win a rook and a knight for the queen, but that's not really winning anything. It's losing something. So, knight takes d5. Oh wait, knight takes d5. I can take back on d5 with my queen. Duh. Okay, knight takes d5. I was thinking that I can't take on d5 with my rook because a1 hangs. See, I just can't see anything today. So knight takes d5 should do it. Now I'm threatening knight takes c3 and knight e7 check. Can he give up the queen? Queen takes a1. No, it's not going to get him much. No. This one should do it. This should do it here. If rook takes d5, queen takes d5 is check, and I'm up a rook. So he's basically giving me a piece. He's got to find a square for his queen. So sometimes, even if you're tired and have a headache or whatever, and you're playing a game, you can't say everything clearly, just take your time. You'll find the right move, and nobody will know you were not 100%, okay? Believe me, it happens. I can't tell you the number of games I've won where I didn't even know what was going on, mainly because I had a solid enough position that my opponent had to play it accurately for a long time, and eventually they didn't find the right move, and I was able to find the refutation. It takes a blunder to win, by combination. You see all these beautiful attacking combinations. Well, at some point, one side blundered to allow it, and because otherwise the game ends in a draw. In a lot of games at the higher level, you get a weakness in your opponent's position, and you focus on tying them down to that weakness. So I'm not sure how black saves this position. Not quite sure. The queen is loose, and I've just captured a piece that can't be retaken. Okay, so down to 10 minutes. Yeah, there's the 10-minute mark. So I'm threatening knight takes c3 and knight e7 check. Okay, getting there. Slowly but surely, little by little, we're getting there. He's down to 9 minutes. Sorry if I'm making any noise when I chew my microwave noodles, but okay. Just one of the things that happens. Okay, I don't know if he has a good move here. Yeah, he doesn't. He resigned. Okay. Wait. It said, what did it say? Game abandoned. Well, there's basically no move here. The threat is here and here. Okay, somebody wants to play. Simul is over. You're 3.5 hours late. Okay, let's do a quick review for this and close it down. He disconnected and forfeited at this point, and I let him play again. No, not quite here. Here, after the 14th move. And then we restarted, and he played the wrong move at some point. We had to restart again, and that caused me a few mess ups along with my mouse slip. Just
broke my concentration, but hey, I got him a game. The alternative was let him start again later. And I'm not really sure what's going on here. Was putting pawns on dark squares, figuring, well, at least his bishop's restricted. And I was thinking the knight's going to maneuver a6 to b4 to d5. He could go right there. Boy, I'm not seeing anything. It's kind of funny, huh? But it doesn't bother me. He starts to go wrong right in here. And now I went ahead with the a6. I think he needs to play b6. Because he played b5 and this file got open. He kind of ended up his worst enemy here. It let my queen penetrate. And I think that black has a very difficult position. I'm not sure how to defend. It's good. It's a good... Okay, he still wants to play. Okay, so I think he's in serious trouble here. Let's try to find a defense. Okay, let's... I was looking at this move. Okay, that makes danger, though. You know. And now, that drops a piece, so he can't take it. Okay, let's back it up. Okay. Let's take this guy. Okay. Now, I need to take... Now, you can take here... As I was saying, something like this in f5. But then I get rook d7 in. And now I think you have to take. But my pawn gets awful dangerous. Yeah, see, it's too dangerous. Yeah, I think unfortunately black is losing. So pushing b5, you have to push b6 here, and you're still fighting. Okay, thanks everyone for watching this simul. There'll be more, and have a great day. Take care.